Hey guys, what is going on? Today I'm going over the jungler mindset and what they are thinking when they are about to camp the lane or even gank it. So this video will be useful for everyone in any lane, since if they know what the jungler is thinking, they can definitely avoid some ganks. This also can help you as a jungler if you need some tips on ganking, and there will also be some tips where you should avoid ganking a lane. With all that being said, let's get started. Items with slow and very important with ganking. You should definitely have them in your build if you are looking to gank anytime soon. I usually use Corrosion Scythe because it can slow enemies, lower their attack speed and also give you HP. Alright, so first up, a jungler will camp a gank a lane when enemy is playing aggressive. When you are playing aggressive, you are putting yourself overextended in the lane as you try to out-trades, and also your skills will be down, so something like Lapu Lapu's second skill, which is a good skill for escaping ganks, is now down since you used it aggressively, and now the jungler has an easier time to gank you and kill you. A jungler should most likely gank if the enemy has no flicker, so it's harder for his enemy to get back to his tower. These skills are free if you have enough damage, or the enemy is not around his tower and you have CC. It's important for your lanners to tell you if the enemy hero flicker is down, but this never happens. Next up, a jungler will gank if the enemy is overextended. So a longer lane means more skills and damage coming out from you and your allies, and if the enemy doesn't have a long enough escape, it's gonna be pretty hard for him to get back to his tower, where safety resides, so usually anything that is overextended is a free kill. Just be careful for any counter ganks, and maybe the enemy is pushing for a reason and he knows he can 1v2 you guys. Next up, a jungler will gank if him and his ally have a lot of kill potential on enemy. Indications of high kill potential onto enemies are things like hard CC like Nana's ultimate and second skill. Another indicator is high damage potential coming from both of you, and the final one is the amount of gap closes you and your buddy have for the enemy. And a jungler will gank if the enemy has no escapes, especially when the enemy is a very immobile, which makes them perfect for ganks. Next up, a jungler will definitely cap the lane if the enemy is raging, tilting in all chat. It's a good idea to ask your enemy something and attack him while he is typing. A jungler will gank if his ally can snowball, and maybe they're duo queue. So in a duo queue you definitely have a lot more communication and you can coordinate ganks and team fights better. Next up, if you are an early game jungler like Natalia, you want to apply some early game pressure on the map, and so most of the success does come from the early game, and expect to see a lot of ganks from certain types of junglers. Next up, we are going to do the opposite segment, where a jungler will avoid a lane if the enemy is tanky. No one wants to gank a full HP Tigreal unless he has permanent slow and he is super extended. It's not wise to gank a tanky hero. A jungler will avoid the lane if the enemy is very strong. Alright, let's look at this at the jungler's perspective. Why would I want to help my ally if he sucks and the enemy has killed him 3 times already and risk dying myself? I'd much rather help my other allies who are maybe going even to have a little advantage on the enemies. As a jungler, you shouldn't help allies who are already strong, and you should help the ones who are falling behind and help them dominate the lanes. Next up, a jungler will avoid ganking a lane if he is a farm jungler, so this obviously doesn't apply to every farm jungler, but usually someone like Roger. He is one of the best champions to gank with, but he isn't very strong until he has some gold in his bag. Most likely farm junglers will stay in the jungle and farm until they are ready to go out and wreck everyone. This time, a jungler will avoid ganking a lane if his ally doesn't have CC, and if the jungler is behind himself, he should focus on getting levels and gold and try to catch up. Thanks for watching this video.